Today is the first primary of the election season in the neighboring state of New Hampshire. Voting started just after midnight, with former New York City Mayor and Democratic presidential candidate Mike Bloomberg pulling a surprise win as a write-in candidate in the tiny township of Dixville Notch, the first community to cast ballots. And Adam Reilly from Connecting Point has been on the ground in Manchester, New Hampshire. Adam, hey, how has turnout been today?
It seems like it's steady. That's the description that I heard from one town moderator who was handling the polls at a polling place in Derry. Not overwhelming, but brisk. I didn't see any lines or anything like that, but a good inflow of people at the three polling places that I was at in Derry, which is this town slightly south of Manchester, went for Trump over Clinton in 2016 by a decent margin.
And among Democrats, Senator Bernie Sanders has been ahead in the polls leading up to the primary. But what did you hear from voters today?
Based on my highly unscientific polling in Derry, it seems that there is actually a genuine split between Democrats when it comes to whether they want to attack left or stick to the center. I talked to a few people in Derry who said that they were voting for Sanders. One woman who told me that she voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016, that she couldn't have imagined voting for Sanders a decade ago, but that Trump's presidency has pushed her to the left. Also, a bunch of voters who said that they were going for Biden and Klobuchar and Buttigieg. By the way, I should specify 3 voters who told me they were going for those 3 respective candidates because they wanted someone more moderate, someone who was fiscally conservative and socially liberal, or as one woman put it to me, someone who was reasonable. So, we've heard a lot about this split among Democrats, and I think it is a genuine, real thing.
Wow. And there's also a Republican primary today. It's not getting as much attention, but former Massachusetts Governor Bill Weld is among the candidates challenging President Trump. Did you hear from anyone on the Republican side?
I heard from quite a few people at one spot in Derry. There was a big turnout of Trump loyalists there. They had their Trump Pence signs, they had their MAGA hats. I saw a couple Weld sign holders over the course of the day. I didn't run into an actual bona fide Weld voter. And what I got from the Trump voters was that, by and large, I think without exception actually, there is no concern that he might lose in November. They are completely confident that he is just going to cruise to victory. And one other point that struck me as interesting is that, how over the years we've heard a lot of Republicans qualify their support for the president. They've said, I wish he would get off Twitter, but, or, I don't always like the way he talks to people he disagrees with, but. By and large, those caveats are gone. Not without exception, but almost without exception. Every Republican I talked to was just all in on the president and his MO. They're through offering disclaimers.
I know you have a few hours ahead of you in New Hampshire left, but moving forward, thinking ahead to Super Tuesday, March 3rd, when Massachusetts voters will actually head to the polls for the primaries, what should voters be watching for?
Well, I'm really curious about what becomes of Elizabeth Warren's campaign after today. I'll be at Warren's headquarters tonight. I didn't meet a single Democratic voter or independent voter today who told me that they were voting for Warren. As you know, she had this steady climb in the polls all through 2019 and then started dropping in October of 2019, and that's just continued. So I want to know if she's still going to be in the race. I want to know if Joe Biden is still going to be in the race. You could imagine a result today where you have, say, Sanders, Buttigieg, and maybe Warren and Klobuchar clustered tightly together. I know that Biden has said that South Carolina is more his kind of state. He's trying to prep people for a not great showing in New Hampshire. But I think if he finishes 5th here, that's a real blow to his campaign. So for me, it's really about who's still sticking around as we head into Super Tuesday.
Excellent. Well, that's Connecting Point. Adam Reilly in New Hampshire. Thanks so much, Adam.
Thanks for having me.